champion of freedom, a pioneering leader, a woman of greatness. That's how some world leaders described Margaret Thatcher. Former British Prime Minister died yesterday after she had a stroke.
We lost a great leader, a great Prime Minister, and a great Britain. Margaret Thatcher didn't just lead our country, she saved our country.
Thatcher served as Prime Minister from 1979 to 1990. She was the first and is still the only woman to lead the British government.
It was the most fascinating time of my life, and they were gripping years. We sorted out the economy. People came to have a higher standard of living, a real enterprise economy. We then saw the end of the Cold War. They were fascinating, event after event after event.
Thatcher was sometimes known as the Iron Lady because of her personal and political toughness. Her policies, especially some economic ones, earned her support and criticism from the British people. One of her constant allies was the United States. Thatcher and American President Ronald Reagan worked together on many global issues. That includes the Cold War against the communist Soviet Union, which Thatcher helped end. Thatcher had suffered from medical issues in recent years. She was 87 years old. President Obama visited Connecticut yesterday, went there to talk about guns. Connecticut just passed new gun laws, some of the strictest gun laws in the United States. The U.S. Senate is set to debate the issue of guns. One part of the discussion is background checks for people who want to buy guns.
I am hopeful that we can get something on background checks. 90% of America's for background checks.
I have to deal with the reality as the governor of the state of Texas, and universal background checks is not going to save one life.
All right, next up today, Never Again is the motto of Holocaust Remembrance Day. Its goal is to honor the 6 million Jewish people and millions of others who were killed by Nazi Germany, and to prevent something like that from ever happening again. In Israel, you can see people who stopped their cars and paused for a moment as a memorial siren sounded yesterday. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry was part of a wreath-laying ceremony at Yad Vashem. That's Israel's Holocaust Memorial Center. Families took part in ceremonies in the U.S. as well. One Holocaust survivor talked about the day's message for younger generations.
Teach them tolerance, accepting people for what they are, not to hate, and to leave a better world to their children and their grandchildren than I and my generation leave it to them.
See if you can ID me. I'm one indicator of the U.S. economy. I'm sometimes associated with bears and bulls, though I deal more directly with shares and bonds. In 1929, I took a big crash. I'm the U.S. stock market, and I offer investors the opportunity to buy and sell stocks.
The stock market, in particular the Dow Jones Industrial Average, can get a lot of attention on the news. How exactly do these things work? What does it mean to buy and sell stocks exactly? April is Financial Literacy Month. The goal is to give people more information about the financial world so you, all of us can make more informed decisions. So getting back to the stock market, Allison Cossack's going to break it down for us.
Hi, Carl. The U.S. stock market, it's been around for 200 years, where fortunes are made.
Strong rally today on Wall Street, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average soaring to a record high.
And lost.
The Dow had its biggest point drop in history today.
But how exactly does it work? Basically, every company here at the New York Stock Exchange is selling shares or stock in itself. So if you buy one share of Disney, you give them money, and in return, you own a portion of the company. You're now a shareholder or an investor. You can own anywhere from one share to thousands of shares. People buy and sell shares based on the news that they hear about the company. Take Walmart, for example. One share costs about $75. If Walmart says its stores had strong sales this month, more people buy the stock and the price of the stock goes up. That money goes back to Walmart, which it can use to build new stores, hire more people, or just save for the future. But if Walmart says sales weren't so good, shareholders get nervous, they sell, and the price goes down. Speaking of Walmart, it trades on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's an index made up of 30 U.S. companies from different industries. When the Dow rises, it means investors are buying shares of these companies. They're confident about the direction the companies are going. So while the stock market seems complicated, it's a way for you to own a piece of brands you know, like Crest or Jif, and hopefully make some money.
Today's shout out goes out to Mr. Sheehan's class at Westmount Hilltop High School in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The Karakoram Mountain Range is located on what continent? Here we go now. Is it Africa, Asia, South America, or Antarctica? You've got 3 seconds. Go. The Karakoram Range stretches about 300 miles across part of Asia. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
And it is up there, too. The average height of mountains in the Karakorams is about 20,000 feet. Now, yours truly might take a run down a Black Diamond Trail, or maybe more realistically, I might fall my way down a Black Diamond Trail. But if you were to ask me to step into a pair of skis and to take on some of the tallest mountains in the world, I'm heading back to the Bunny Slope. Simon Mosen caught up with some extreme adventurers who are planning to ski where no one has ever skied before.
It's the world's highest mountain range, but that hasn't stopped a team of extreme freeride heli skiers from taking it on. Brice Lecatier is leading the team. In 2003, he climbed Everest, then skied back down. Now he's set for his biggest challenge yet.
Well, the Himalaya is the biggest, highest mountain range in the world. You have a unique terrain. It's so big, so high, and so wild, completely undiscovered. The place we flew today to, nobody's ever been there, nobody ever stepped a foot there. So it's exciting. It's just an adventure to start.
Some of the world's best skiers and snowboarders have flown in from Russia, Canada, France, Serbia and Switzerland for the pioneering project. There are no resorts or commercial heli teams here, so the team is working with the Pakistan military to get them to the top of the mountains.
We're just trying to scout out a location where the helicopter can land, where it's safe to go heli skiing.
And when they found a spot, the Karakoram mountain range in northern Pakistan is home to the highest concentration of peaks, over 8,000 metres to be found anywhere in the world. The team that's come here has 500 kilometres of mountain peaks to discover. With untouched slopes where nobody has ever skied before, this international team has plenty of adventures ahead. While locals are hoping this will be the kickstart they need to boost Pakistan's winter sports and tourism industry. Simon Mawson, CNN, in the Karakoram mountain range, Pakistan.
From the mountains to the sea, it's turtle time on CNN Student News Turtle Power. These guys were part of a large group of turtles found last fall near Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Scientists don't know why so many of them showed up there. Originally, it was over 200, but it was cold, too cold for turtles, and they would have frozen to death if they'd stayed put. So a group of researchers picked some of them up, nursed them back to health, and drove them down the East Coast to Little Talbot Island, Florida. The waters there in Florida are warmer, of course, and it's where turtles naturally migrate, so they thought it would be a good place to let them continue being sea turtles. Some of them got so excited when they heard the ocean that they started flipping out in their containers. Flipping out. Pretty cool. All right, finally, the 3 words you want to hear from that special someone. All right, might be a little hard to make out, or a lot hard to make out. That dog is barking, "I love you." Maybe, possibly. Let's just make sure. All right, close enough. The dog's amorous audibles earned him an adoption from this animal shelter. New owner probably heard those 3 words and decided it was just true woof. We admit that pun was rough, but whether it's in pain or laughter, we're sure it made everybody howl. Teachers, tell us how you thought today's show went by using the feedback link on our homepage. Have a great day.